Are you struggling with a slide in the golf swing, getting lower back pain? Well, stick around. In this next video I'm going to show you how to get rid of your slide and play more consistent golf with a really simple drill. I'll see you soon. Hey, it's Troy from Hitting It Solid here. So you're someone that struggles with too much slide in the downswing and you get lower back pain. Well, I've got a great drill that I'm going to show you at the end of this video that can really help fix that issue and get you hitting the golf ball a lot more consistently. So please make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video if you enjoy it. I'm going to take you through a few principles to understand how you can fix that slide and why it's a good idea to get rid of that to become more consistent in your golf game. So what is the slide when we talk about it and why is it such a bad thing? So if I'm set up to a ball and I start my downswing, typically what a slide means is, and you can slide too far on your backswing, and I'm talking in this video more about sliding too much on our downswing like so. An excessive slide will look something like this. As I come down, my lead hip here will push this way and I'll end up in this sort of position, really angled back like this as I hit the golf ball. So why is that such a bad thing? Well, in the golf swing, and you look at any of the great players over the last several years, they all have one thing in common with their lead hip. It actually, as they start their downswing, the actual lead hip actually, if anything, moves back towards them as they strike impact, and it looks something like this. As they come down, if you can see my lead hip there at the top of the backswing, they'll look something like this. And you see that lead hip of mine, actually, instead of going this way, it actually rotates back. They open up their hips and get in that sort of position there, and they really compress down and strike the golf ball solid. So we don't want to have that hip slide, because when we do that, it makes it more difficult to get in that compressed position at impact, and also inhibits your ability to rotate. So if I was to do a slide like so, slide my hip too far this way, it's really hard for me to rotate my upper body. And you can actually try doing that. If I slide too far, it actually feels really uncomfortable on the upper body to rotate and get my hips open into that great position there at impact. So that's a really good reason to try and inhibit that movement of that lead hip really sliding laterally towards the target. So now the other reason being, and that ties into that, is the stress it puts on your lower back. So if I'm sliding in the downswing like so, and I'm turning back like that to get at the ball, you can see the stress. My body has to tilt back and I have to really reach at the ball to make any sort of contact. So if I'm constantly leaning right back here, I'm putting a lot of stress, particularly on my lower back, to make contact with the golf ball. So that's another great reason not to be sliding too far with that lead hip. And you can really feel that just actually demonstrating that now in the video. I'm actually feeling this little lead hip here feels quite uncomfortable. It's just not a natural position. A more natural position is to rotate and get in that position there, and you'll hit a lot more solid golf shots. And if you look at any of the, as I said earlier, the best players in the world right now, they're all very similar. They get in this squat position, they rotate, they get that lead leg coming back, and they compress the golf ball like that. And so many of them are swinging that way now, and it's a great way for you to achieve that move. So we want to eliminate that slide and get better rotation and become a lot more consistent over the golf ball. So I've got a great drill for you today that can really give you a feel of what the right move should be in the downswing that will limit the amount of slides you get and get you into a better position. So I've got myself here an alignment stick, and you can pick these up from any golf shop. They're relatively cheap. So what I'll do is, if you stick this through a couple of the loops in your belt like so, and what I'll do And put that through like that. Now what I'm trying to do, and what the purpose of this drill is to try and keep this relatively horizontal, because it matches up with my hips. So if I was to make a golf swing, just holding my upper body like so, and I slide too far, you can see this alignment stick is pointing more up at an angle and sort of that more vertical sort of position there. That means I've slid too far. So if I try that again, too much slide, you can see it pointing straight up. But if I make a swing and I just rotate nicely, you can see that alignment stick stays really a lot more horizontal, a lot more level, and I'm in a much better position to strike the golf ball. Now you ideally want to be practicing this in front of a mirror, obviously, or some sort of reflection, or looking at yourself on video like this and just checking to make sure you're keeping this relatively level. Now it's a great thing you can practice. Now there might be a tiny little bit of elevation, particularly if you are hitting your driver. That's perfectly normal because you're hitting slightly on the up and the ball's teed up. But with your irons, you really want those hips to be nice and level as you make a lot of practice swings. And using this alignment stick here is a really great tool to practice this. So grab yourself one of those, practice that in front of a mirror is probably the best way to do it, or have someone have a look at your front on, and make sure you don't need a club. Don't mean you're practicing with a club. Make a turn, keeping it nice and level, and that will really improve your consistency. You'll bottom out at the golf ball a lot more consistently, which will result in a lot better golf shots. And another way you can practice that, if we get rid of this, even if you don't have an alignment stick, a great way to practice it is put your hands across your chest and just practice moving your hips independent of your upper body. So what I mean by that is hold my shoulders nice and steady, and what I'm going to do is turn my hips. And see, my hips are the only thing moving. And it gives you the feeling of how these hips should be working in the backswing, but most importantly, in that downswing. Having the hips turn, and you'll become a lot more consistent, and you'll take a lot of stress off your lower back and hit the ball much better and get rid of that slide. So you shouldn't be feeling any of that hip pain, and I know that'll really help you out. So give those drills a try. I know that will really help you out with your golf game, get rid of that golf slide. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really helps me build the channel and create more great videos to really help you with the golf game. Make sure you have a look at the links below to some further golf instruction. I know that'll be really great for your golf game. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.